A statue stands in a forgotten temple. It is unfinished. The sculptor's hammer rests in the dust, as if perfection had stolen his hand. Above, constellations burn like ancient runes. The stars whisper, "Perfection is a mirage." The stone figure is eternal, yet lifeless. But in the shadows, another hand trembles and reaches for the chisel. The strike slips. A crack blossoms across the marble. Light leaks through the fracture like dawn through a battlefield fog. What never begins cannot breathe. What begins, even badly, learns to breathe deeper. The universe does not reward what is perfect. It rewards what dares to start. Listen. Perfect is the enemy of good. And hear this. Bad is not the opposite of good. It is the beginning. Take the chisel. Let the first blow be clumsy. Let the second be true. Begin. Now breathe. Strike again. The stone will teach your hands patience. In the kingdom of Elthara, a mage named Celior sought the perfect spell. He polished syllables until they shone. He balanced runes upon a blade of breath. He built circles within circles, flawless and still. The people called him Master. The candles around his desk never burned low, because they never burned at all. His apprentice, Aeon, spoke like a storm trying to remember music. His fireballs coughed. His shields stuttered. His illusions wore visible seams. Villagers laughed, then turned away. Aeon stayed. He practiced in the courtyard where wind erased mistakes faster than pride could harden. One night the sky writhed. Shadows spilled over the valley like ink from a cracked celestial well. Barn doors slammed. Windows latched. The bell tower rang and rang, a rusted heart refusing to stop. The king sent riders for Celior. They found him whispering to a diagram of light. "Nearly ready," he said. "One more refinement, then perfection." He did not ride. Aeon ran barefoot to the citadel steps. He raised his shaking hands. The first spell broke in his mouth like glass. The second scattered sparks that died before they knew their names. The third held thin as frost on a river. The shadows pressed. Children cried in breathless rooms. Aeon's thin light flickered, failed, flared, failed again, and finally steadied. It was not beautiful. It was not perfect. It was barely enough. Yet the darkness retreated a step, then another. Villagers opened doors. They saw a trembling apprentice facing the night alone. They carried lanterns. They stood beside him, imperfect lights in imperfect hands. Together, the valley learned to glow. By morning, the horizon was a bruise washed clean. Celia emerged with a scroll that could stop time itself. It had taken the whole night to perfect. No one asked to see it. Elthara remembered, not the immaculate theory, the apprentice, the stammered spells, the broken beginnings that refused to die. Perfect is the enemy of good. Bad is not the opposite of good, it is the beginning. Later, when children learned their letters, the teachers told a new legend, not of a flawless master, but of a boy who stood trembling, who failed loudly, who tried again, and whose fragile light taught a valley how to begin in every generation. History remembers Leonardo da Vinci as a miracle, but open his notebooks. They are seas of beginnings, wings that never flew, gears that never meshed, anatomies sketched, corrected, sketched again. He was not a statue carved to perfection. He was a river searching its bed. Genius in his hands was practice wearing 1,000 masks. Ink stained his fingers. Ideas argued in the margins. Failure walked beside him like a patient teacher. Centuries later, Thomas Edison hunted a tame, lasting light. He tried filaments of bamboo, platinum, carbonized cotton. Each glowed, each died. He refused to love perfection more than progress, so he counted attempts, not miracles. Reporters asked about failure. He smiled. "I found ways that do not work." A sentence like a lamp, not brightness yet, but direction. Factories would later refine the bulb. Scientists would refine the current. But someone had to stand in the workshop, breathing dust, testing, changing, failing forward. The night didn't care about elegant theories. It cared about light. Leonardo's notebooks did not hold perfect machines. They held invitations, sketches that dared future minds to continue the line. His unfinished wings seeded flight. His questions about hearts seeded medicine. His ceaseless curiosity said, "Begin again." The myth of history says, greatness arrives polished. The truth of history says, greatness is a long argument with imperfection, draft after draft, prototype after prototype, a library of almosts that becomes a bridge. When we praise their genius, we should praise their rhythm. Start, fail, learn, restart. That cadence is older than empire and brighter than marble, because perfect is the enemy of good, and bad is not the opposite of good, it is the beginning. Leonardo knew it in ink, Edison knew it in glass. We inherit their courage when our hands choose to begin. Consider the laboratories that followed them. Vacuum tubes failing hot, transistors squealing, circuits burning into lessons. Every age repeats the vow, we will start and we will improve. Museums display success. Workshops remember process. And process is the quiet gospel of getting better, not divine, human. Human enough to change the dark. So when your draft looks clumsy, remember these rooms, ink and glass, sweat and sparks. They built a world by starting badly, again until goodness slowly gathered momentum. In the century of convergence, two cities watched the same horizon. Chromium spires rose like tuning forks. Satellites murmured in the dusk. Everyone could feel history humming. Aurelia pursued perfection. Its council trained an immaculate intelligence beneath a cathedral of glass. They modeled ethics, safety, certainty. They sanded every rough edge until the system sang in silence. Release would happen when no error could exist, so release never came. Across the ocean, Vesper burned and rebuilt. Storms ate their coasts, grids failed, hospitals flickered. They could not survive by waiting. They installed rough implants. Some users saw ghosts, some lost balance, some returned stronger. They tuned, they tried again. The first Vespernaut launched with trembling hands and a mechanical heart that skipped. Her ship spoke in stutters. Her visor glitched stars into useless flowers. Still, she climbed. Orbit held her like a doubtful friend. The second launch learned from the first. Errors mapped into upgrades. The third launch seeded a station. The fifth sent sails into dark beyond dark. Aurelia issued another delay. Their perfect mind had discovered new corner cases. The council applauded carefulness. Citizens posted simulations of the glorious someday. Vesper wrote new checklists with bruised fingers. They replaced chips in freezing night. They accepted that bad was a doorway, not a verdict. They kept walking through. A decade drew its arc. Aurelia's immaculate intelligence remained in the cradle, flawless and unused. Vesper negotiated with ice moons. Vesper mined comets for water and patience. Vesper planted antennas in the thin winds of Mars. Their starfarers slept in good enough coffins, then woke to fix what had cracked. Perfection stared at a mirror. Practice stared at the road. Here is the paradox tomorrow keeps teaching. Systems that begin ugly learn to become elegant. Systems that stay unborn cannot learn at all. So the record of the first extrasolar landing reads like this: telemetry imperfect, descent erratic, Touchdown achieved. HAB systems failing. Crew improvising. HAB stable. And then, almost as an afterthought, we are home. Perfection will publish a white paper explaining its caution. Practice will plant another flag before sunrise. The universe will not judge the elegance of drafts. It will open to whoever knocks, even badly. Because beginnings, not ideals, are the engines of tomorrow, and they run hot. You sit before the blank page, or the canvas, or the camera icon you keep ignoring. Your hands hover, rehearsing a perfect beginning that never lands. You promise yourself a better hour, a cleaner desk, a braver mood. You wait for the moment to feel like music. But perfection is a masked delay. Call it by its true name: fear. Fear dresses like standards. Fear quotes excellence. Fear loves mirrors and hates doors. You do not need a flawless start. You need a start. One sentence, one messy sketch, one clumsy take that makes the next take possible. Try this ritual. Set a tiny timer, 5 minutes. Fill the minutes with bad work on purpose. Write the wrong thing. Draw the crooked line. Speak the awkward truth you keep polishing out. Then stop. Breathe. Look. You have begun. Now momentum can arrive. Momentum is a river that appears only to moving feet. Each day collect small beginnings, an inch of progress, a paragraph that fails but teaches, a scale played sloppily until muscle listens. Stack these imperfect days like bricks. Build shelter from them. Let rain test your walls. Let sun dry your doubts. Perfection fears witnesses. So invite one. Tell a friend your tiny goal before you start. Make your courage accountable. Let them see the ugly draft, today, not someday. And when you fail, and you will, treat failure like kindling. Warm your hands at it. Tell yourself, this is the beginning doing its job. Because beginnings are supposed to look wrong. Seeds are dirt before they are trees. Listen again. Perfect is the enemy of good, so let good walk in first. Bad is not the opposite of good, it is the beginning. So let bad open the door, then hold it for better. Set a restart rule. When stuck, change the tool, not the goal. Switch pen to keyboard, keyboard to voice, voice to walk. Return with imperfect momentum. Use a visible tracker for beginnings, not outcomes. Count starts per week. Celebrate attempts, not applause. Applause comes later if you keep moving. Movement comes first because you begin. Begin small. Begin today. Begin badly. And watch good gather like dawn. The door is already open. Step through once again until courage feels like home. We return to the temple where the first blow fell. Dust hangs like a small galaxy. The statue is still unfinished, and that is why it breathes. The chisel marks are constellations. The cracks are rivers where light remembers to travel. The fingerprints along the base are a map of courage. Perfection is the silence of a sealed tomb. Creation is the whisper of stone accepting risk. Listen to the echo in these pillars. It says, continue. The sculptor lifts the hammer again, not to polish, but to advance. He knows every strike is a sentence in a story about becoming. He knows one more fracture might free the arm from the block. He knows progress does not bow to flawless design. Progress bows to persistence. The temple roof opens into night. Stars drift like the dust of abandoned fears. Some are brilliant, some are bruised. All are moving, so let us end where everything begins, with a choice, to carve, to err, to correct, to proceed. Perfect is the enemy of good. Let the line ring beneath these arches. Bad is not the opposite of good, it is the beginning. Let the line spark along the cracks like lightning finding a riverbed. We leave the temple and step into the wider sky. The statue remains unfinished, shining with honest scars. We will return, tools in hand, not to finish perfection, but to practice creation again, because the echo of the first blow is still calling us forward.